Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Small Business 101 here on Our Bite You. And today we have another special guest joined by AJ Baynes, with President of the Amherst Chamber of Commerce.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming. I appreciate it. So obviously, Chamber of Commerce, you guys deal with so many different businesses and everything. Can you tell us a little bit about your role there, how you got involved, for anyone who doesn't know you?
Sure. I started about 2 years ago at the Amherst Chamber of Commerce. I'm currently the president and CEO, and the chamber is a diverse membership. We have well over 1,000 chamber member companies. We have 54 investors at the chamber, and those are larger investments within the chamber that take place. But what's unique about the Amherst Chamber of Commerce is the fact that of our over 1,000 members, almost half of which are outside of the town itself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so it makes it more of a regional chamber, and it allows us to have, play in different avenues and different spheres within Western New York, and care about so many of the issues that are so important to the growth and sustainability of Western New York.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to be part of your Amherst Chambers. I know I'm very invested with you guys. I'm starting the leadership program this week, and I'm excited for that.
We're excited about that. That program just continues to grow, and what really is interesting is that it's we're starting to see more collegiality, a longer-term relationship with the members of EBL. That was something when I first came on board 2 years ago that the board had asked me to really invest a little bit more time. We had gotten it off the ground, but it wasn't clicking on all cylinders, and now we think we're getting to a place where it's really making a meaningful impact in the community.
Good. Awesome. I'm excited. Yeah. All right. So because of social media, there's so many virtual networks now where people can find like-minded professionals.
Yep.
So even so, what's the benefit of cultivating and investing in an in-person local network?
Well, I think you still can't take away the touch and feel of any sort of relationship building that you can have in the personal interactions that are out there. It really speaks to long-term building of a relationship. And you think about your friends over time, the ones you're closest to are the ones that you've spent the most time with. And, you've opened yourself up a little bit, or maybe you've revealed some things that are more personal in nature. And that's something that can't happen all the time over the internet. And what we really like to do at the Chamber is create an environment where people feel safe and, in a responsible manner, be able to discuss their businesses and some of the challenges that they're facing, and realize and recognize that we're all going through those same challenges. And, it may be a payroll issue for one company, and it may be a personnel issue for another company, but everybody can lend itself to more open dialogue, as opposed to just being in a internet-based networking opportunity there.
Yeah, and you guys host a lot monthly.
Yeah, I would say we probably host anywhere from 6 to 10 events a month. One of the things that we're really striving to do and continue to strive to do is make sure that we're making a meaningful impact on each and every single event. We don't want to have events just for the sake of having them. The ProNet groups are a great example. We've looked at the attendance rates at all the ProNet groups. We want to make sure that we're hitting the 20 and 30 people showing up for those meetings, and if it's not working, we meet with the facilitator of the ProNet group and we say, okay, what can we do? Do we need to shuffle people around? Or, situations come up with various people that all of a sudden changes in their work or changes in their personal life may preclude them from attending a ProNet, and then they get off track for a little bit, and we want to make sure that we're constantly communicating with our membership and understanding their needs and their wants, and we want to make sure that everybody is at events that they want to be at.
Yeah.
So it's easy, online, to narrow down your kind of network and, focus on specific niches. We do it. We're part of very niche groups and debt collection only or something like that. But in-person networks tend to be more broad and need to be. What are the benefits of kind of having an industry-spanning network or demographic-spanning network?
I think the big advantages are you just don't know where you're going to meet somebody else later in life or how it's going to benefit you. So often we might limit our friendships or our relationships to just like-minded people. And I think opening up that type of diversity, one, helps you evolve as a person, and then two, it will help you evolve professionally. I mean, if you're in one narrow, specific industry-only area on a social networking site, but not realizing that, you know what, there are similar companies out there that are facing challenges that, you know what, their experiences might lend itself to helping you grow your company.
Yeah, I mean, we've, personally, I can attest to it, like, we have a software company now, used to have a collection agency, and some of the issues that you think are only collection agency issues, like, there's issues that are just kind of business across the board.
Yep.
So, it's, yeah.
Yeah, I
good.
mean, it's just so funny when you talk to people and you realize, wow, everybody's facing those same challenges. So.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to the in-person network, how has that benefited your own career?
I would say for me, it was a tremendous benefit. I'm in a position now where I had an interview in front of a board of directors, initially with the executive committee. I think at that time it was 14 people on the executive committee. And I was very fortunate when I walked into that room to have either a personal relationship or some sort of social acquaintance with, I would say, maybe 10 out of the 14 people. And a lot of that had to do with my previous career working in state government at the New York State Senate, but also some of the activities that I was involved in on the not-for-profit side, being involved with cystic fibrosis or Jacobs Neurological Institute. And you meet people along the way, and all of a sudden you're in the room. And when I went in front of our board of directors, which was 44 people, there was somebody, I was looking over the list ahead of time, and there was somebody in there that I hadn't seen in 10 years, but on something else, another not-for-profit that we had worked on. It was just nice to see a familiar face. So you just never know when you're going to see somebody or run across somebody, and I think it is a tremendous benefit.
Yeah. So in-person networking obviously can be intimidating, doesn't come naturally to some people. It's actually me specifically. I'm the guy that sits in the back of the networking event and just,
Ash, go talk to everyone.
Just stick to the people I know. So what advice would you give to somebody like that? And like, how would you, people who need to go to these events but aren't just naturally good at it?
I would say, look, at the end of the day, everybody's insecure about something. So, you know what? Everybody, especially at a networking event, everybody knows that they're there to network. So I wouldn't be afraid to just say hello and just start talking about your business. But more importantly, ask them questions about themselves, some basic questions, and see what they have to say about themselves, because a lot of people do like talking about themselves. So you can almost take your shyness and push it back onto them. And next thing you know, they go for 20 minutes and they walk away feeling pretty good about you. So
True.
Yeah. Now that I do a lot with you guys, I've been doing more networking events, and from when I started, like, I'm a very outgoing person, so I can talk to people, but even just doing those networking events, it is very nerve-wracking.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know anyone.
Yeah, and on the other side of it, think of not-for-profits. If there's something you're passionate about, get involved in something like that, because at least you have that common theme. So if it's the Big Brother Big Sister program, or Kids Escaping Drugs, or Kevin Guest House, and just if you want to be involved in something, and now when you're meeting everybody, you're all there for the same reason. So now you can talk about that. It's so how many times people go to sports or weather as a simple sounding board.
How about them Bills?
You got it.
Soon for that.
After Saturday, yes. But that's just one of those simple things that you might be able to, if you practice your skills and hone your skills, and that's, you've got to work on it. Everybody does. So.
Yeah. So for startup companies, why is networking so valuable for them and not just established companies?
Well, it's funny. I was speaking with my father the other day over the weekend, and I come from a small family business background, and my father started his business in 1980. Went to Buffalo State College. He was bartending. He was running a concession business. He was doing a bunch of different things, and then he got into third-party logistics. mistakes. And I don't know if he was feeling nostalgic or how the conversation got there, but we just started talking about getting a business off the ground is no easy task. And you might have a great idea, or you might have, all the contacts in the world, but getting those contacts to sit down and give you their business or help you out in business. But then you start thinking about, how do I invoice somebody? How do I keep track of, my bookkeeping? And you can't hire professionals to do everything because you're limited on funds. And so in the networking world, when you think about it, it's just, you've got to be able to have a large network so you can ask those questions, because you're going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but at least they can try to help point you in the right direction. And you don't have to follow everybody's advice. You need to do what works best for you. But along the way, you're going to pick up a few things, and it's no different than when growing up as a kid and, your parents let you make a few mistakes before they step in.
Right.
Yeah, I love making mistakes because that's how I learn. Like,
exactly.
I try to just do stuff on my own, figure it out, make mistakes, learn. So, yeah, for sure. But, so speaking of networking, there's going to be a networking event here, right? And,
we're really excited about that. And, one of the things at the Amherst Chamber that we've tried to do over the last couple of years was really partner up with our brother sister chambers from across the region. And we're doing this event with you guys January 21st from 5 to 7 or 5 to 7:30 p.m. with the Kenton Chamber of Commerce. So we're excited to work with Kathy and her team and have a packed house for it, showcase your offices.
Yeah, maybe play some ping pong,
Play some ping pong, see what's going on. I hope the Christmas lights are still up and the decorations for the holidays. Okay.
But thanks so much, AJ. I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks
for all the information. Yeah,
thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here. I'm looking forward to the 21st. And, for someone who doesn't like the network, I love that you're running your own show right now, too.